Okay, good evening. It is 7 o'clock. I call to order the October 15th, 2024 meeting of the Fort Atkinson City Council. Clerk Everett, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Becker, I believe joining later. Absent. Absent, thank you. Councilman Jekyll.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilman Schultz.
Here.
President Lisco here.
Here.
Thank you.
Item 3, public hearings. There are none this evening. Item 4, public comment. The City Council will receive comments from city residents. Comments are generally limited to 3 minutes per individual. Anyone wishing to speak is required to sign up in advance or state the following items for the record when called upon: name, address, subject matter, and contact information. No action will be taken on any public comments unless the item is also elsewhere on the agenda. And note for those joining us via hybrid on Zoom. If anyone on the Zoom wishes to speak during the public comment period, please raise your virtual hand through Zoom, as the chat box is not monitored during the meeting. For those on the call, please remain muted if you are not recognized to speak. There is no one who has signed up in person this evening to offer public comment. Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to provide public comment? I'm not hearing any. We will close public comment. Item 5, consent agenda. The consent agenda outlined below is hereby presented for action by the City Council. Items may be removed from the consent agenda on the request of any one council member. Items not removed may be adopted by one action without debate. Removed items may be taken up either immediately after the consent agenda or placed later on the agenda at the discretion of the council president.
I move to approve the consent agenda as listed, items 5A through 5G.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the consent agenda as listed, items 5A through 5G. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Item 6, petitions, requests, and communications. There are none this evening. Resolutions and ordinances, item 7A, second and possible third and final reading of an ordinance annexing the territory addressed 1222 Van Buren Street to be addressed 113 Wilson Avenue to the city of Fort Atkinson. Building and Zoning Administrator Drager.
Hello. Yes, so we have heard this already, but we will be continuing to do it for ordinance. Ordinance annexing the territory. As we discussed in the past, this is a property currently in the town of Koshinon that we recently had a CSM come before us as well, or before you rather, where they had an outlot that was attached to the city of Fort Atkinson by CSM. It was combined, giving them street access to Wilson Avenue. This came forward, purchased the property, realized the septic was failing, and in order to hook up to city utilities, they have to annex into the city. There is a small financial impact to this because of it's coming out of the town of Koshinon. The city will owe the town of Koshinon $2,715.95. That is proposed to come out of the economic development expenses account. Staff does recommend the second reading of this and possibly foregoing the third, or approving this ordinance annexing the territory at 1222 Van Buren Street, which will be address 113 Wilson Avenue into the city of Port Atkinson. Welcome. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions?
No public pushback, complaints about this?
I have heard nothing.
Okay. I move to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of the annexation ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, the motion is to suspend the rules and waive the third reading of the annexation ordinance. This requires a supermajority and is a roll call vote.
Councilman Jekyll.
Aye.
Councilman Johnson.
Aye.
Councilman Schultz.
Aye.
President Lisco here.
Aye. Motion is approved unanimously. I would entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance then.
I move to adopt the ordinance annexing the territory addressed 1222 Van Buren Street to be addressed 113 Wilson Avenue to the city of Fort Atkinson.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to adopt the ordinance annexing the territory address 1222 Van Buren Street to be addressed 113 Wilson Avenue to the city of Fort Atkinson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of officers, boards, and committees. Item 8A, City Manager's Report. Manager Houseman.
Thank you. On October 9th, the city council and staff participated in the 2025 operating and capital budget and 26 through 30 capital improvements plan workshop from 4 p.m. to about 8:45 p.m. Thank you to all who attended for their time and attention to the presentations. There's a lot of pieces to the budget puzzle, and I appreciate everybody's patience and questions. The next time everybody will see the budget is the public hearing on November 7th. On October 10th, I attended the Thrive ED annual meeting in Whitewater. The theme was $1 Billion Boom, How Collaboration is Driving Jefferson County's Success. Attendees heard from a national site selector, Thrive ED President Deb Reinbold, and WEDC staff members. It was a really great event, and I look forward to building off of that momentum created through those projects here in Jefferson County to benefit Fort Atkinson. On October 12th, the Fire and EMS Department held an open house. They provided facility tours, demonstrations, lunch, and took lucky attendees up in the tower ladder truck, which included all three of my children and myself. So thank you to Chief Peterson and all of our full-time and paid on-call staff for participating in the really great community-oriented event. Also on October 12th, the Hoard Historical Museum hosted its annual Civil War and Governor Hoard Day in celebration of Governor Hoard's birthday. He was the 16th governor of Wisconsin from Fort Atkinson, and this would have been his 188th birthday. I am attending the Transportation Development Association, or TDA, annual meeting in Middleton tomorrow. TDA is a statewide alliance of over 400 stakeholders committed to advancing the best in transportation. Members include businesses, labor unions, citizen groups, units of government, and individuals, all with the goal of development and maintenance of safe, modern, interconnected transportation networks in Wisconsin that will support a robust economy. Attendees will hear from Christina Boardman, who is the new Secretary of Transportation, as well as the incoming TDA President, Jerry Duchesne, who's also the Executive Director of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. So I'm hopeful that the needs of municipalities in Wisconsin will be well represented while Mr. Duchesne serves in this role with TDA. On October 19th, the museum will host a public opening reception for an exhibit on Fort Atkinson's Barbara Lorman. Lorman was a state senator representing Fort Atkinson from 1980 to 1994, and the museum is honored to be able to tell her story. She will be in attendance for the opening reception, and that exhibit will be on display until February of 2025. Note that the city's park shelter bathrooms will close for the season this week, as well as the fountains and drinking fountains, so please plan accordingly when visiting our parks this fall and winter. Speaking of our wonderful Parks and Recreation Department, I'm sad to announce that our aquatics caretaker, Dave Radloff, is leaving the city after about 4 years to return to the school district in a new role with more responsibilities. Dave was an integral part of our team, and we wish him the best in his new position. We will be reviewing the job description and duties before reposting that job. Keep an eye on our website for job opportunities in all departments as we continue to look for public service minded folks to join our team here at the city. The League of Wisconsin Municipalities is holding their annual conference starting on Wednesday, October 23rd through Friday, October 25th in Middleton. Several city staff members and elected officials will be in attendance, and both Clerk Ebert and I will be presenting on different topics at that conference. The presidential and general election is coming up on Tuesday, November 5th. There's still time to register to vote and cast an absentee ballot if you are unable to make it to the municipal building on Election Day. In-person absentee voting in the clerk's office begins on October 22nd and ends November 1st. In conjunction with that, the city is hosting a non-perishable food drive during in-person absentee voting. Donations will also be accepted on Election Day, and this is a partnership between the city of Fort Atkinson and the Fort Atkinson Food Pantry. So I want to thank Courtney in the city clerk's office for organizing this very worthwhile event. And also just a final reminder, I think this is my third one, but just so everybody remembers that the city council meetings originally scheduled for Tuesday, the 5th has been moved to accommodate the election day. So the next city council meeting will be on Thursday, November 7th. It will be a long agenda, the budget public hearing and many other items. So we will have about 3 weeks before, a little over 3 weeks before the next meeting. So that's all I have. So thank you.
Thank you for the report. Item 9, unfinished business. There is none this evening. New business, item 10A, review and possible action relating to a contract with Aquilus for stormwater and sanitary sewer inspection services. Director of Public Works, Selly.
Hey, good evening. This is, as it says, inspection of sanitary and stormwater pipes that we have underground currently, most of which are under the roads. Before we open up a road and start doing work, knowing ahead of time what the condition of those pipes are is very helpful. We can do top-down repairs of those pipes before we repave the road. So this work is broken up into two categories. One is the work I need done in 2024, which is before you this evening. I also asked, as you'll note, for a bid for 2025 work that is undefined at this point in terms of the amount, but I asked for a minimum linear foot distance that they would require to mobilize to do the work. So good news is I have a number for 2025, and we'll come back before you if we need to for additional work. We have about 16,000 feet of sanitary and 23,000 feet of storm that'll be inspected. I did put it out to 3 bidders who we have worked with in the past. 2 indicated to me when I talked to them that they were backed up into early spring and would not be able to get to this work. The third, Aquilus, who's done quite a bit of work here for us of late, was able to get us into their schedule. Their total was $71,715 for that inspection work, and that will be broken up between the stormwater utility and the wastewater utility, respectively, for the pipe investigation. If there's any questions the council has for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions?
No, I'm happy to say I've had quite a few resident complaints about Kramer Street, so it's good to know that that's on the list of streets to be inspected. Hopefully that gives a little bit of confidence that it is being looked at and on the plan to be repaired. With that being said, I move to approve the contract with Aquilus for stormwater and sanitary sewer inspection services at a cost not to exceed $71,715.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the contract with Aquilus for stormwater and sanitary sewer inspection services at a cost not to exceed $71,715. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10B, review and possible action relating to the purchase of luxury vinyl plank flooring for the library at a cost not to exceed $9,179 from Adair Commercial Flooring from the 2024 CIP. We have Library Director Lippert with us.
Hi, thank you. So I am here tonight requesting approval for funding to replace flooring in the library's computer lab. As part of the 2024 CIP, there were $12,000 budgeted to replace flooring or carpeting in the library. Staff looked at the needs of our library flooring and identified the computer lab as our top priority because there's significant staining. The current floor in there is porous and stains are staying in there. And then also the flooring is buckling from the wear that we have in there. Our second priority was the lobby area, although we quickly learned that we couldn't replace that as well for under the $12,000 mark. So right now we're just looking at the computer lab. I talked to other library directors in the Bridges library system to identify companies that I should approach asking for estimates. And I talked to the library directors that had recently done flooring projects in their own libraries. So based on their information, I reached out to Adair from New Berlin, BSI from Waukesha, and JSM from here in Fort Atkinson, and gathered estimates from all 3 companies. Of those 3 estimates, Adair's estimate was the lowest, and Adair's also does include for about $500 moving furniture, which is a service that we need because there's a very large computer desk in there that staff can't move on our own. Not all of the estimates included that furniture which we did think was important. So for that reason, we would recommend moving forward with a DARE. We brought this proposal and the estimates to the library board, which met yesterday, and the library board approved moving forward with the project and also approved having the library's trust reimburse the city. Rebecca and I talked about the city council's role in this decision. By state statute, the library board is in charge of expenses for the library, but as the fiscal agent, your body has the right to approve releasing the funds. So that's why we're bringing it to you today.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm glad to see that, reached out to a local company, even though they weren't, the lowest bidder, so. At that, I would move to approve the purchase of luxury vinyl plank flooring for the library at a cost not to exceed $9,179 from Adair Commercial Flooring per the 2024 CIP.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the purchase. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Motion is to, excuse me, approve the purchase of luxury vinyl plank flooring for the library at a cost not to exceed $9,179 from Adair Commercial Flooring per the 2024 CIP. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved. Thank you. Item 11, miscellaneous. There are no miscellaneous items this evening. Claims, appropriations, and contract payments. Item 12A, review and possible action relating to the verified claims presented by the Director of Finance and authorization of payment.
I move to approve the verified claims as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the claims. Any discussion? Hearing none, the motion is to approve the verified claims as presented. This is a roll call vote.
Councilman Jekyll,
Aye.
Councilman Johnson,
Aye.
Councilman Schultz.
Aye.
President List, go ahead.
Aye, motion is approved 4-0. Item 13, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.